All right, Verdants, we have our second back on track week. We are gonna have our first task. It's gonna be 50, 40, 30, 20, 10 of Russian kettlebell swings. That's gonna be what you do for Monday. The overall goal of this week is pretty simple. You're gonna come one more time than you came last week. So if you came 3 times last week, the goal is 4 times this week, okay? If you hit 5 last week, I think 6 is a little bit probably unrealistic, so let's just hit 5 again. That's the goal. The second goal, and this is, again, for some of you guys, we may have to scale up or down. The goal is to have a vegetable a day. But if you're already like, hey, that's easy, I can do that, then let's have vegetables in at least 2 meals of the 3 every single day. Basically, the idea is we're just scaling up from what you normally do. Okay, so you have 2 major goals, okay? Come 1 more day than last week is 1, and the second one is eat more vegetables, basically, than you normally do. And that could be like 1 vegetable, that could be 1 every meal. It just depends on sort of what you normally do, okay? So our first task is 50, 40, 30, 20, 10 of Russian kettlebell swings. If you haven't been here very long, you may not know all the specifics of this. So what we're gonna look for is you're gonna start a foot's length off your kettlebell. You're gonna put the hips into what is essentially a deadlift, maybe a good morning, just depending on how tall you are. We're gonna put them back, you're gonna touch the very top of the kettlebell. You're gonna pull that kettlebell down so the bottom's gonna face up. You're then gonna hike the kettlebell, and what you wanna do is take those elbows, and we're gonna turn the elbows to face you, and the elbow pits to face forward. So we're gonna pull it back. We're then gonna squeeze quads and butts together and drive straight up. And what we want is to make sure that the kettlebell is as close to you as possible. We don't want a lot of room. So if I turn, you guys are gonna see, I don't have a big gap between where the kettlebell is and where my crotch is. So what we want is the wrists right in the crotch. If you guys look, you should be able to pass a hand between the elbow and the chest. So what we don't want is the elbow here. We also don't want this. Okay, we also definitely don't want to be pulling up on our kettlebell. The arms are relaxed. They're just elastic bands connecting the hunk of metal to our body, okay? So you're gonna pick a weight that you could do 50 with unbroken, 40, then rest, 30, 20, and 10. What you wanna do is work on using your abs at the top of the lift as well. So explode up, brace, then let that come back down, load, and drive through the heels, okay? If you notice, I never actually went into my toes on the drive. If we're doing that, A, it's either too heavy, which is probably the case, or B, maybe we're not loading correctly. Maybe we're loading forward. We need to make sure we load back into the heels and then drive up, relax. Let the elbow come up, nice and relaxed arm, okay? That's the first task.